It's time for the Daily Stand Up Podcast presented by Agile Dad with your host, Lee Henson. Without any further ado, let's get started. All right, let's talk for a moment about the top 4 deliverables that every product manager should know. Now, oftentimes you hear me talk about product ownership or specifically about marketing product owners or about agile product owners or technical product owners. But it's rare to hear me cover a topic with regard to product managers. So I did a little bit of research about product managers, and I thought it'd be good to talk about 4 key deliverables that they need to understand implicitly. And the first one that comes to my mind is product vision. And when I'm talking about product vision, a lot of times I can tie that back to empathy mapping and to discovering pains and gains, what people are seeing, what they need to do, who they are, who are they empathizing with, what are we trying to build, and how do we better understand them. The truth is, a compelling vision is critical for creating an excellent product and an exceptional product. I think that sometimes, though, we don't look at the vision as the core responsibility of the product manager's role, but it is. I think that sometimes if we don't align it with a North Star or we assume that we know what a customer wants without doing proper research and figuring out exactly what the consumer's needs are, that if we don't have a simple, clearly defined vision statement in place, it makes it hard for everyone to feel inspired or aligned to what the future direction of the product or service is going to be. If you take time to define a vision narrative, you're going to be way more successful at rallying a team around a common cause, or getting stakeholders to chime in with additional information, or determining the future direction of the product. If you use tools and can create empathy maps and create really solid personas, those things are going to help you to really get your head around what people are trying to do and understand that vision. All right, let's go to the second one. With every good vision comes a strategy for execution. Now, when I'm talking about strategy, this is where things get interesting. So, when I say strategy, it's more than just the how. Strategy includes: what is our mission? Is it a space where we can have real, authentic conversation and expression and talk about what's going on? What is our North Star? What is our company strategy? This is where we can make sure that we are focused on how we tie to where we're going and what we're trying to deliver. Do we understand our mission? And then you have a product specific strategy, and that ties, of course, to the North Star to make sure that we can deliver the product or service. And then we tie it back to a roadmap, which is where we put all of our roadmap items that are related at the feature level to what we're trying to do, or the epic level to what we're trying to do. And then finally, our goals that we align to our sprints to make sure we have everything aligned all the way down. I think that in order to understand a strategy, we need to understand who our target audience is, what problem we're trying to solve, what our value proposition is, how do we strategically differentiate ourselves. These are all things that you can find in a lean canvas, right? Okay, next up, we have product design. And I think sometimes when we talk about our product design, we need to understand how we imagine our product, how we create our product. We need to identify through ideation what problems we're trying to solve and how we're going to go about solving those problems. There's a lot of legwork that goes into this, and I think that sometimes we don't necessarily take that into consideration. We rush to figure things out when we should be doing things more from a customer centricity or from a design thinking mindset. And sometimes that includes incorporating things that are like customer insights and discovery. What do we know about our customers? How do they behave? How do they use our product or service? How do we engage them? And what products or services do we use to engage them? How about road mapping? The product roadmap dictates what's going to get built and how we're going to lay it all out. And it often allows us to talk about things like monetization, growth, and technological feasibility. It allows us to have the right conversations at the right time before it's too late or not too early. And of course, product requirements. This is going to help us engage and make sure we understand all of the specs behind what we're trying to do, who it applies to, acceptance criteria, as well as a solid definition of done, so that we can talk about how we're going to spec things out and fit function into what we're trying to do. Okay. Next, we have product execution. Now, when we talk about execution, a lot of people talk about all of them. There's various ways of talking about execution. Many people talk about OKRs, the objectives, the key activities, the results. OKRs are solid as long as you're applying them correctly. And I think that sometimes if you're looking for objectives and key results, it it has to be set in a goal setting scenario. If you're doing this outside of a goal setting scenario, it's going to be real difficult because you could get too granular with the OKRs, or you could become way too high level. It's just you could risk falling into a trap. And I think that those are all important when it comes down to figuring things out. So far, we've talked about vision and the importance of having a vision. We talked about strategy and we talked about execution. But before you ever get to execution, you should focus on design. And I think design is the one that most people miss out on. And it's the one that I forgot in order. Uh, design is where you're actually laying out what it's going to look like, how it's going to flow. And I think that if you understand flow and you understand how things are designed, it makes it a lot easier for you to come up with a viable product. It makes it easier for you to come up with a solution that's going to be both generically better and something that's going to be easy for you to engage with and pull together. So, the key for the four deliverables: vision, incredibly important; strategy. These can be captured using the Agile press release with the elevator pitch model from Jeffrey Moore. Design, which comes from customer centricity and design thinking, and of course, execution. And if your product manager can focus on those top four deliverables, you're bound to do nothing but have success. That's going to do it. Incredible article. If you have a topic you want us to discuss, feel free to reach out to us. Learn more at agiledad.com, where we'd love to hear from you. As always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.